Today we're talking with Josh from Change My Mind about how his game, the party game Change My Mind, made a huge impact on the tabletop gaming space. I'm Dustin from the Dice Cards and Coffee VideoCast, and today I have a very special guest with me who will be with us at LFGCon, Josh from Change My Mind. So Josh, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us. Would you mind just sharing a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Love it. We're in Fallbrook right now, if you don't know about this awesome, beautiful store. Dustin, thank you so much. You were actually one of the first stores to put this on your shelf. So, yeah, thank you. You're incredible. So I'm Josh. I love board games. I've been playing board games since I was a kid. Risk was one of my favorite games growing up, which probably to a lot of people are like, Risk? Why Risk? I don't know, it just was. Loved it. But then I branched out. I own over 100+ board games right now. Anywhere from party games to big games like Twilight Imperium, Scythe, all those stuff. Games have always been something in my life that I loved because it brings people together. You can get to know someone strategy-wise, how they think, how they work together. Do they create alliances? Do they betray you? Like Secret Hitler, one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, a little bit about me.
We played Secret Hitler with my father-in-law, and that was pretty entertaining to hear him say some things like, are you Hitler?
Yeah, you're Hitler, you fascist. Like yelling across the table, yelling someone's fascist.
Yeah.
Top quality.
Funny. So I think you mentioned we were the first ones to carry your game, and did you bring more? Because I need more for myself.
I literally live 5 minutes away, so I can easily grab more. Thank you. So what I do a lot of different things. I work for Marvel as a TV host in Amazon, so I'm on the red carpets, Comic-Cons, kind of in the gaming space, comic book space, nerd space, and I created a side quest called Change My Mind, a party game for loud people. I wanted to create a game that people can actually like yell across the table at someone and be like, you're wrong and this is why. I was tired of the Cards Against Humanity type of games. One card wins them all. Judge mechanic. It's great. It's fun, but it's now done. It's overdone. It's oversaturated. It's like, well, how can we change that? Well, we're very opinionated people. We love to rank things, whether it's like sports teams, cereals, foods, you name it. We all have an opinion of what our favorite things are. Well, what if we took that ranking system and changed it where I can be like, okay, what's your ranking? Here's mine. You need to change this because you're absolutely wrong, Dustin, and this is why. And now you're in a discussion across the table with 8 other people. You're getting to know them, and you're getting to yell at them. And why not?
That's awesome. Yeah, we played, I don't know if you, I think, we shared it with you. You commented on the video. We played the game on the video cast, so maybe I'll link the episode to that game. So I guess we want to have the conversation around the topic of like a small game company and getting started in this space. So I'm thinking back to when we first met and you were at StratCon, which is a local gaming convention that's hosted here in LA. They do it 3 times a year. Was that your first convention?
First for Change My Mind.
Oh, okay.
When I work for Marvel, I've done San Diego and everything as a TV host. But for board games, StratCon was the very first convention I've ever done. I went there the year 2023 before the game was released. Just to see what people thought of it. Like, I think I did events, like demo events of the game, and people were like, whoa, this is cool, this is fun. And then I went back in 2024 in like February when the game was out, February, March, and that's where we sold it at the exhibit hall. And that's where I met you. We were booth mates. We were right next to each other. It was so funny. And it was my first time, and it was wild because it's now you're playing with people that are coming up to you. You don't know who they are, and there's this box has 80 family-friendly cards, 80 dirty cards. And whenever people come up to the booth, I give them the option. Do you want to do dirty or family-friendly? And a lot of them choose dirty because, why not? And so I remember you're like on the side and you're hearing people like talk about the wildest things and everyone's like, what's going on? And it's just really fun because you get to learn about strangers as you're doing a booth, and it's a very loud game. So everyone around the booth hall is like, why are they talking about certain private parts of bodies? And it's just wild. And so that was the first time we met.
So as far as like getting started with your game, you said you were demoing it and when did you first get copies to sell? Was that
March?
at StratCon? That was like the
March
first
of 2024.
time. And did you do a Kickstarter for the game?
Yeah, so
okay.
so the first inception of the game was January 2023. I couldn't fall asleep. I was driving from my mom's place in San Francisco to LA, and I was listening to a podcast where they're just like ranking Marvel movies. It was for an hour. This podcast was an hour long, just ranking Marvel movies. I'm like, oh my gosh, people love to rank things. I couldn't fall asleep till 2 a.m, and this like lightning bolt idea. Is there a game that allows you to rank topics and debate it? At the time, the only thing that was out were 2 games. One that is a very religious Christian-based game called the Rank Game, where you rank your favorite chores, your favorite psalms, and there's no debate to it. And it's a very popular game. It's like multiple different expansions in the religious side of life. Then there's this game called Priorities, which was very popular in the UK that had not made it to America yet at this point. And that was, again, just a rank game. You draw a card, you rank 5 options like Santa Claus, coffee, Harry Potter, etc. I was like, but there's no debate. There's no like competition to it. It's just like you just guess someone's ranking. So that's where I wrote 250 cards down in 3 days of anywhere from the nastiest things you can think of to the favorite cereals. And they're all category based. We play tested it for a couple months. People started loving it. They're like, oh my God, this is so much fun. How can I buy it? I'm like, well, why not? Why shouldn't we do it? So I started researching Kickstarters, manufacturers. I started researching logistics, marketing, everything you possibly can, graphic designers. Started joining Facebook groups like Board Game Design Lab, stuff like that, which is huge if you're creating games. And it's just me at the time and a friend that was helping me on a side. And we did a Kickstarter 6 months after the start of the game, or I thought of it, in August. We made over $16,000, which to these standards is not a lot because games are like hitting $150,000. But I didn't work with an ad team. It was just me. I didn't have like a big community. I didn't go to conventions for years and build up an email list because my fear was someone else is going to create this. What's stopping people from creating something like this? And so then the game came out in March of 2024. It's been a year now, and we've sold 5,000 units. Which is nuts because it's just me, my finances, everything. So we got to be very, very careful we can't go overboard with ads and stuff. And it's been nuts. Like we can go into the marketing of it and everything, but that's basically how it started.
Yeah, 16,000 is a good like starting point, right?
Yeah.
Once you do that, you know you can.
Yeah,
you got something
it was enough people to 360 people bought the game.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know from a retailer perspective, like one of the metrics I'm looking at is not the raw funding number; it's also the number of backers, right? Because especially with like your game is like $20-$25.
Yeah, 25.
Retail.
Yeah.
So like that price point, and there's 350 people back for a retailer. I'm like, yeah, that's easy, like easy sell.
Yeah.
I actually really like the not necessarily the ranking, but the ability to convince people to change their rankings and then scoring based off that. So
I one of the biggest questions we get is why did you put the dirty cards and the family friendly cards in the same box? And my thought process of that was we're all adults. We can separate cards if we need to. So many game companies create another expansion that's like $20-$25 that adds more cards that are dirty, like an After Dark or something. I was like, well, why charge people more when they can get the same thing in one box? It's just easier. Like financially, if I was a consumer, I'm just going to probably buy a base game. I'm probably not going to buy an expansion. So why not just put everything in one? And so in person at conventions, parents love that. Like, oh, great. When my kid goes to sleep, I'll pull out the dirty cards. But when you sell this online, it's different because you're not talking to people. You're not saying like, oh, what's included. Right. So we've definitely had some people be like, oh, wait, I didn't know there was dirty in there. So we're actually going to add in our version 3 a little warning explicit content on the box. So people know. And then on the back of it, we're going to put like 80 family friendly, 80 dirty cards. So when people buy it online, I'm not in front of them. They know it's inside the box.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to go back to also marketing. I think one thing I admire about you and what you're doing that's really awesome is your different marketing strategies. So I see some of the stuff where like you'll come across my news feed and you'll be on the beach interviewing people. Like if anybody else watches TikTok or Instagram or anything, you get those reels like the Haktua girl got very popular doing something like that. So like you come across, I'm like, oh, there's Josh. What's he doing? And you're playing the game with people, and it creates for some fun content. So I kind of want to have you talk about that, but also one thing that I really admire was your, like we mentioned, boots on the ground. Like you're really great at just connecting with people and trying to get them to learn the game, like other retailers or distributors, or I know you've had some meetings with other like retailers as well.
Yeah. Great question. So I'm not afraid of just being goofy and weird and just getting in front of people. And that's kind of what marketing is, throwing a bunch of stuff against the wall, seeing what sticks, because you can't think of, a lot of people are going to throw hate or throw like just a lot of confusion your way. And the best way to see if something works is try everything. Don't be afraid of it. So our first general marketing was, other than conventions, we printed out these envelopes that had 3 different cards inside. And I went at Gen Con 2 years in a row because the Lorcana lines were crazy, wild, from like 4 a.m. I went throughout the entire line every day, handing out games to play. Hey, play a game while you're in line. Play a game while you're in line. So people just open up the envelopes and start debating with people in line. And that's how I did marketing, which is like, here you go, play it. If you like it, great. If you don't, you know. And so that was kind of the main approach. Then we did a lot of different Instagram and photos. And then I was like, well, why don't we do men on the street content? That is like the biggest thing on TikTok right now. People just going up to strangers and talking to them. And these cards are pretty wild. So I went to Santa Monica multiple times. We need to do another round because I have only 6 more posts to post. And we're running out of content. You're running out of content. It's hard. And I'd just go up to people and I'd be like, hey, what's the worst thing to put in your butt? And they'll be like, what are you talking about? And they would stop and they would freeze and they would be like, oh, let me answer these questions. And you just get their opinion. And their reactions is big, their thoughts. And then if they have friends, which is the best thing, their friends would like disagree and be like, this is clearly the worst one. No, man, what are you thinking? And you just edit that together. And now you have 2-3 people talking about crazy things. And they're doing really well. They're like anywhere between 7,000 to 20,000 views each video, which is nuts, depending on the video. And that helps a lot. I've had people come up to me at PAX Unplugged, PAX West, Gen Con, and be like, yo, we love your videos. Like, I heard you from TikTok. I've heard you from, like, oh my gosh, this worked? Because you have no idea. Yeah. You're posting it into the void. You have no idea if people are loving it, liking it, or whatever. And so when people come up and tell you, because the number one way to sell a game is you got to figure out a way to market it. And I've kind of broken it down in ways that people know. They either played the game is number 1. They heard someone of their friends recommend it, number 2. Number 3, they maybe saw someone that they follow online play it and like, oh, that sounds like fun. Or number 4 is they have somehow seen a video. No one's going to buy a game if they've never heard of it before, right? Obviously, they need to hear it. And so if you can get it in front of their hands, it's great. You could teach this game in 60 seconds, which I think is a really big pool for conventions and stuff, which I'm really excited to go to LFG-Con for that because the cocktail hour is going to be awesome because you can literally play this for 60 seconds and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to keep playing. So that's the big hook, learning quick.
Yeah, again, from a retailer perspective, I think a big thing for us is the marketability of a game or how the publisher markets the game beyond just the game, right? Like it needs to have some sort of appeal to it, whether it's the box and the presence in the store. If you host a demo and it has some really cool table presence, it's easy to teach, or again, someone's heard about it already, right? If someone's heard about it and I show it on my shelf, they're like, oh yeah, I saw Josh on the street in Santa Monica. I'll pick this up. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So can you give us an overview of so you just got started, you raised $16K, and then where did you go from there, and how did you manage finances and distribution and all that?
Yeah, the finances is the scariest part. You need a lot of money to start a passion project like this. And obviously, depending on the games you do, miniatures versus cards, it's going to be a spectrum. We use What's Games for our base game, and we ordered, my first order was 2,000 units, which was way more than the 350 we sold. Right. Because the more you order, the more affordable it is. And I was like, okay, if I believe in this game, I need to believe in it. I believe in myself. And so when they arrived in March, that's when I was like, okay, I need to book as many conventions as possible in 2024. We went to StratCon, PAX West, PAX Unplugged, Phoenix Fan Fusion, Gen Con as a marketing area, and Los Angeles Comic Con. So we went to over six different conventions, not including different game nights, this and that. And it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, but it helps. It does help. And I think the biggest thing that helped in terms of the marketing was putting this in front of people's faces. It's funny because you'll have people come to the booth and they'll be like, cool, yeah, I only have time for one card. They'll stay around for like 30, 40 minutes. And I have to literally be like, hey, I love this, but we got to get new people playing. Like, we got to get new players to play. It grabs you quick because you don't expect it. Because the first thing people see when they think of a party game is they think of the other kind of card games that are out there. Yeah. And that's kind of how we're preconceived to think of. And once they play, like, I've never played anything like this. I've never seen this mechanic before. I've never seen this type of debate before. So that's a really cool way of kind of grabbing people. But yeah, to answer your question more, I guess, thoroughly, is the marketing is the hardest part because of finances. Getting money to go to conventions, getting money to post online, or going out there and finding marketing, editing. It's either time or money. It's not easy. Luckily, the crowdfunding Kickstarter helped us get to that point of not only ordering 2,000 units, but on top of that, being able to go to conventions.
Yeah.
And then each convention allowed us to go to the next one and the next one. Like, it gave us kind of some more wiggle room, if you will. And it's a slow. I'm only by myself. It's a slow growth.
Right.
I don't have like 5 other people or a parent or loan. I can, I don't want to take a loan out.
Yeah.
That I can just be like, cool, here's like $100,000. I could do what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change my mind times 4.
Yeah.
Like number 4. So, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the general understanding with a Kickstarter is like you're raising funds for your game, and then you're using that funds to produce like the 2,000 copies, right?
Yeah.
And so you took that, and now as you sell through those 2,000 copies, you're hoping to generate more revenue to do a larger print run or do some more marketing or a second game.
Yeah. Our second print run was in August of 2024. It arrived around October, September, and it was 6,000 units.
Okay.
So we're almost sold through of that,
Wow.
which is wild. Yeah. I think we have like 1,500 left. So,
wow.
Yeah. So right now it's a weird, scary time because we're like, okay, it's time to order more, but there's these tariffs that are right here. So it's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
So that's a fun little game we're playing, seeing what bends first, if you will, what breaks. And yeah, so and we want to, every iteration's different. So I think there's multiple ways to create games. Like, it's not A to B to C. It's multiple different ways. And a lot of people wait and perfect a game, which I think is beautiful to do, especially if it's a big strategy game too. I went the opposite way. I was like, we got to get this on the shelves as fast as possible. Let's just go. Because as soon as this came out, the day the Kickstarter started, priorities came to the US at Target. We got First to Worst, which released in June of 2024, which came from Asmodee and Dice Games, which is, again, another ranking game. No debate, though. And then Cards Against Humanity created Out of Line, another ranking game.
Wow.
So you had 3 ranking games come out since the inception of this one, which was nuts. And none of them have debate, which is crazy to me. So when it comes to the party game world, and I could be wrong, I think just get it out there as soon as possible.
Yeah. I'm not as knowledgeable about the specifics when it comes to different types of games. And I'm sure there's some different strategies, but it's interesting. The tabletop gaming hobby works in a way where certain types of games will be popular for a year, right?
Yeah.
Like trick-taking games are kind of still like in.
Cat games.
Yeah, cat games. Roll and write games were huge like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you're saying like the ranking games, maybe it's just like.
There's another one.
So
I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called Tier List.
Maybe another.
Literally the last year, we've seen like 6. I've seen like 5 to 6 ranking games, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Wow.
And they're, competitors is the wrong word because I want everyone to succeed, right? But in a sense, they are a competition to games. But the hard part is these guys have a lot of money to spend on marketing and ads, and so that's my competition in terms of audience awareness, and it's hard.
Yeah. I do think like it is competition, but I do think there's some like benefits you do get from someone releasing a similar style game, right? Like I think a lot of people in our space say like our competition isn't the other tabletop game store, but it's the movie theater or the video games, right? Because hopefully like we're still in a hobby space or industry that it's like what's that expression? Rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah,
right. Like
I agree
we're
with that.
Still kind of growing. And I like to share with like, I mean, you mentioned the tariffs. This video might come out when we have no idea what has come since then. But I think our industry has been pretty sustainable throughout tough times, like pandemic resistant. It was recession resistant. Like, of course, it's a struggle for some businesses, but hopefully those ranking games get people to purchase that's their new collection.
A whole slew of
They're
games.
only going to buy ranking games.
Yeah, right. It's so funny. My mind is like 2 different spectrums of one of it is we always are going to need an outlet for creativity or games or something to distract us from our 9 to 5 or whatever job it may be. And then there's the other side that a lot of people that are worried about are, well, are games the first to go if prices increase
Right.
anywhere. And I like to think no, because like you said, during COVID, games were like an all-time high for selling. Like it was nuts. People needed that because they needed something to get them distracted from the sadness of the world. So that's where I like to hope, but I'm a hopeful, optimistic person, so who knows?
It's interesting because like the macroeconomics at play are very different. During the pandemic, everybody had discretionary income.
That's true.
That was available and couldn't travel. And like, where do I spend that money that I would normally use to travel? Where now we're like, if it's just discretionary income goes down. And then one other thing that's interesting is like there's a lag, right? People will continue with their same spending habits until those credit card bills start to catch up to them, and then it
Do you buy 12 eggs or do you buy a party card game?
Could change my mind. You should
buy the eggs.
That should be a bonus card for your next Kickstarter. Rank these things. Which would you buy in with discretionary income? Change my mind. Eggs. I don't know what else you would put on there.
Someone on the side of the street.
Toilet paper. Those are all things that have been rose in price.
So we're coming out with 2 new editions this year. An adult only version, which is 42 cards, and a family friendly 42 cards, all standalone. You don't have to buy the base game for it. And one of the family friendly cards in there is I'm out of toilet paper, and it's my hand, my dad's jacket, a towel, or I forget what, it's like cardboard, or this card.
Oh man, that's funny. That kind of does lead me into my next question too. Is like, what's your goal moving forward? Is it change my mind expansions? Is it a new game? Like, what's your goal?
So a lot of people ask me like, what's the next game you're making? I'm not I would call myself a game designer for sure, but I'm not like a game creator. I'm not going to create most likely 500 games of different types of this and that and mechanisms. This is a side gig for me, a side quest, and I love it. It's my passion project. And so I want to create so many editions, and I have over 10 editions in my mind and my Google Sheets right now. I mean, I can go even longer if I had the time for it, but I want to make new editions. We have a family friendly coming out because a lot of people are like, I love this, but I want it just for my family. A lot of schools and lawyer companies have contacted me saying, hey, is there any way we can show this in schools, but like, can you make a family friendly one so we can show this in our workspace or school space? Because what it does is it teaches people to communicate and debate. Like, I don't know if you've done, we called it youth in government, but debate team when you were younger. Yeah, people love that stuff. So making it a game and more like fun and ridiculous, schools were like, this is great. So one of my ways I want to try and do it is when I create a family friendly version is pitch it to schools, more so than the schools that have already been contacting me. I think that's a really cool way of doing it. And I want to do like a New York edition, a California edition, LGBTQ Black edition. And I have to hire people that are those backgrounds. I'm not Black, I'm not LGBTQ plus. So like I can't write those cards. So I need to like make sure I get people that can. And that all comes with the business growing, and hopefully I can afford those writers, you know what I mean? Because I want to pay them for their time and everything. A Jewish edition is definitely in the works because I'm Jewish, so I'm definitely going to make that, which is going to be great. And like ways your mother annoys you is going to be one of the cards for sure. Hey mom, I love you. So yeah, this game can continue forever because just like our lives, we can rank and debate infinitely.
Everything, yeah, for sure. So no other game, just change my mind.
Yeah, no other game. I want to do a Disney edition. Obviously, get approval. Disney would be huge. Marvel would be massive.
Yeah.
People go crazy for the anime edition.
You get some cool art on all the cards.
Yeah,
too.
right. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'd hope is to like completely each game is like its own independent game.
Yeah.
But you can add them together if you want it.
Yeah. It's like the fighting game.
Street Fighter? What do you mean? Like?
No, it's a card game where you put together heroes.
Versus. I don't talk about not versus.
Super
Fight.
Super Fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have like a bunch of
Super Fight's great.
Yeah.
Because that's a debate game.
Yeah. Cool. So as we kind of wrap up, I'm super excited to have you at LFGCon for cocktail night. If for anyone listening and planning on joining us at LFGCon,
better be there.
Josh will be there. He'll be showing off Change My Mind and some different examples. I think for cocktail night, you can have some pretty dirty, like the dirty edition cards available.
For sure they'll be available. I'll have the two,
as well as the family.
Choose this or that type of thing.
Yeah.
Because I like to give people an option. A lot of people choose the dirty ones, though.
That's
trying to
always
think
the
of a-
fun.
I'm trying to think
I
of a
think it'll
question to
depend on
ask you.
how many drinks will come up. And
Do you want a dirty one? No, you want a family friendly one.
we'll save for the dirty one for off the camera.
Okay. Let's do. Okay, this is a good one.
Oh, I kind of glanced.
Who would you bring back to life?
Okay.
Dumbledore, Bambi's mom, Mufasa, Tony Stark, or Sirius Black? And it's as soon as they passed away, they come back to life.
As soon as they pass away.
Yeah.
Sirius Black is the other guy from Harry Potter?
Yeah. Have you not read Harry Potter?
I have, but I couldn't, like, the
We're
name
putting you
just-
on blast right now, Dustin?
The name just... No, I grew up at Harry Potter. Oh, man. I don't know. That's tough. Probably Dumbledore.
That's your number one?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No way. You're trolling us. Dumbledore's not your number one.
Because Mufasa is whatever. Baby's mom is whatever.
Dumbledore lived the life. He manipulated Harry Potter.
Okay. Maybe Tony Stark would be number
Sirius
one.
Black should be number one.
Tony Stark.
Then Mufasa.
No, because Tony Stark hopefully would give me some money for bringing him back.
Okay,
He would forever be in my debt.
You're
and
doing
he's
this for
very
monetary
wealthy.
value?
Well,
My
yeah.
God, we know what you care about.
Then I can help more people.
Sirius Black was Harry Potter's only
Friend.
like
adult,
family member.
adult,
Family.
Yeah, adult role model.
This is the card we're doing. Obviously, it's far away.
Dumbledore didn't care about Harry Potter?
I think he did, but he also used Harry Potter to defeat Dumbledore and manipulated him. It was really bad.
Yeah.
So he would rank this from.
Maybe I got to reread Harry Potter with that kind of viewpoint. Maybe.
When was the last time you read Harry Potter?
I finished the last book in college when it came out.
Okay, so yeah. I reread them actually for the first time
really?
6 years ago.
It was good,
It's good, yeah. I mean, look, the world is what's beautiful.
Yeah. I really liked the last one in college because it grew up with you.
Yeah,
the writing
yeah.
grew up with
I
you.
agree with that.
I enjoyed it.
They're making a new show on HBO now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
New one.
Got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So he would rank this. We would all yell at him across the table why he's wrong. So join us in comments on why he's wrong, choosing Dumbledore.
Or correct. Cool. So again, come check out Change My Mind at LFGCon. If you want to join the convention, again, lfg-con.com. But Josh, if you want to share where people can find you and Change My Mind outside of Santa Monica, interviewing people, where can they find you?
ChangeMyMindTheGame.com is direct to our website. We're Change My Mind the Game on TikTok, Instagram, all of the social channels. And you can also find us at retail stores like BGE Tabletop right here. I think we're in over, last I checked, 58, 60 different retail stores across the nation.
That's awesome.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I always believe in supporting local businesses because that's what keeps the world going. And when I was a kid, I would go to board game stores and play after school. And this is exactly a place like that. So support them because we need that as kids. So,
awesome.
And adults.
And adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing an adult summer camp. You do that.
I do that.
You do that
I
too.
literally do that. That's another one of my many jobs.
Cool. Well, thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.